Hey, this is Kix here. I'm going to be casting a replay between LiquidHayPro, a member of Team Liquid.net, and SeleCT, a member of Team Dignitas. So LiquidHayPro, a very accomplished Zerg player, played in the GSL Season 3, made it to the round of 64, but I think he was knocked out. And SeleCT at one point was also the top player on the North American ladder for quite some time back when StarCraft 2 was released. So I just want to take a quick moment to give a shout out to Artosis and Tasteless, or I'm sorry, EG Tasteless. He is also a member of the team Evil Geniuses, along with players such as Hydra and In Control and Machine. No, but seriously, I really respect Artosis and Tasteless for what they do for StarCraft and also the esports community. And yeah, I have a picture with them that I got from BlizzCon this year, so I worship that picture very much. So yeah. Anyways, so SeleCT going for a pretty early scout. This is kind of interesting. I would be pretty certain that this is, yeah, he's going directly to the expansion. So this is mostly to block the early expansion by HayPro, because there's not a whole lot of cheese that Zerg can do. The only two cheeses really are, like, you know, early pool, like 6 or 7 pooling. Oh, he gets the hatchery down. That's not good. Didn't have enough money, I think, to throw down the engineering bay to block it, so that's kind of unfortunate. But yeah, so the early scout is kind of, you know, almost certainly to just block this hatchery. I don't think that you know, that those 12 drone rushes or 6 pooling is kind of a poor play, I think, on this map, just because the rush distances are so long. It takes, you know, quite a bit to go around. You have to kind of go all the way down through this watchtower area and then go up. So, you know, not really advisable. So SeleCT going for barracks down on the bottom of the ramp. I think this is actually a pretty good play. Because it takes about three structures about as big as the barracks to block this ramp, so you might as well just block down here, and then also that kind of secures this expansion. So SeleCT going for a quick expansion, I'm sure, putting the SCV here. So one barracks scouted by LiquidHayPro. And then he also flew the Overlord over the base, so he knows that the 2 gas aren't taken, so almost certainly going to be a fast expansion. So LiquidHayPro's first Overlord flying through the base, he's most likely going to move that Overlord down here, so that way he can see you know, the saturation in the expansion area. And then this Overlord placement is also really good because it shows the you know, he can see armies moving out of the front of the base. So this a little bit of early pressure by SeleCT with the SCV and a couple Marines. This is a great play, actually. Let's just take a look at the production. Yeah, see, this forces, even if SeleCT doesn't attack, right, see, he just pushes about to the tower and then runs away, and that forces HayPro to produce a bunch of lings. In this particular scenario, Zerg usually only want to produce like 2 lings if they don't have, basically don't want any more lings than they have to, because they just want to sit there and drone. So if HayPro doesn't want to die, he basically has to build the lings, because those Marines kind of threaten to attack. So since he has these lings out, he's going to poke around just to see the front of SeleCT's base. So he's probably going to come up here and see the 3 barracks building. Supply depot up here. Oh, poke around, trying to get that SCV. Nope. Loses just 1 Zergling. Looks like he's going to poke at these destructible debris. SeleCT placing a depot up here. This is really great because you can see over the ledge here just to scout any incoming attacks. Zergling speed on the way for HayPro, and HayPro is kind of just sitting back, just building tons of drones, getting his economy going. SeleCT moving some Marines up here to stop the rocks from being destroyed. Pretty common also to see a supply depot right down here, because this can block this entrance in case these rocks eventually do go down. So SeleCT building a tech lab, leaving these other two barracks naked, and then also has this factory with the tech lab going. So going for tanks. So it looks like SeleCT's going for like a marine tank composition, very, very common these days in this matchup, to just get tanks to deal with lings and banelings, and then the marines are obviously just a ridiculously good unit. Double engineering bay going down for SeleCT, so this it probably implies the double upgrades, really fast double upgrades for the marines. So HayPro's starting to get a lot of creep spread going. I think he has 3 queens out. Yeah, so he has 1 queen up here, just spending all the energy to build the creep tumors to get creep spread, which is a great play. HayPro losing a lot of Zerglings there, so I kind of baited that. But HayPro also probably noticed the tank firing, and he also flies the Overlord into the Overlord stack to scout the factory with the tech out. So he most certainly knows that SeleCT's just going for your very standard marine tank. He also notices that he probably takes this expansion knowing that SeleCT doesn't really have a whole lot of units. He just flew over the base, only saw like 4 or 5 marines and like 1 tank, so he knows that SeleCT's not really planning to attack soon, or it would be easy to crush it. And so this expansion is very, very problematic for Terran to deal with. I'm a Terran player, so and I'm not that great. I'm like a mid-diamond Terran, but this expansion is just really hard for Terran to deal with in this matchup because of the it's so far away from everything. If the Terran wants to attack this expansion, he really has to go all the way down this way, and then that leaves him open to counterattacks through this region, this very, very wide region, or even through these the middle destructible rocks. I haven't spent too much time talking about it, but these destructible rocks usually almost always get taken down in the middle of the game to allow for a quick attack path to your opponent. So I've been spending a lot of time talking about SeleCT. Let's look over here at HayPro. Spire almost finished getting a macro hatchery down. Has a lot of gas saved up, so almost certainly going to be making a ton of... Yep, there goes 10 Mutalisk. Wow, that's a ton. Plus the +1 upgrade, and then the bangling speed also on the way. So, once the Mutalisk... That's another great thing about this expansion also, is that the timing that he took it. He knew that his Mutalisks were going to be done soon, so the Mutalisks are really, really fast. They give a lot of map control, so he knows that he can defend this expansion relatively easy with the Mutalisks. So the Mutalisks are out. They're making their way to the Terran base. Probably just going to poke around, see if he can get some SCVs. Oh, sees a turret, flies away. Sending some overlords to make sure the island isn't taken. This island, I think, in other matchups, or maybe in like anything non-Zerg, I think this expansion is a pretty good idea for Terran to float a command center over here. But against Zerg, like these days, Mutalisks are so common that it's really hard to defend this expansion with Mutalisks on the field, because Mutalisks are just so strong at commanding air and so fast. So you really just need like a ton of turrets and then like Thors, and it's kind of just difficult to defend. So SeleCT getting another command center down, so he's going to be setting up his third. But with LiquidHayPro having this gold up already for so long, he's going to start really pulling ahead, I think. Oh, he's already considerably farther ahead. So combat shields and 2/2 upgrades coming up soon for SeleCT, and also getting the +1 vehicles. Command center is almost done. SeleCT doing a pretty good job of macroing. Has a pretty good number of unit producing structure. Has a lot of turrets down to defend against the wow, I didn't even notice, but HayPro's been doing a friggin' insane job of spreading this creep. Holy crap! The whole map is already covered in the goop. SeleCT probably moved out here to pick up the creep tumors, knowing that getting a little moving away from the Marines. Yeah, Marines do sick damage against Mutalisks. They just rip them apart. But yeah, so probably noticing the creep getting a little bit out of control here, so scanning to take down some of these creep tumors. That way Zerg doesn't have so much mobility on the map and also vision even from the creep tumors. HayPro's starting to pick away these middle rocks while SeleCT is starting to take this third. So this is somewhat problematic for Terran because they're always going to need to put some units here or some defenses like bunkers or tanks in this region to defend this middle attack pathway, and at the same time Zerg can swing around this way to attack. So it's really, you know, it's really in the Zerg's advantage, I think, to take advantage or to abuse that that problem that Terran has, especially with tanks, because tanks are kind of immobile. So if you just kind of bounce back and forth. Oh, big attack coming through here for HayPro. Oh, picking off some SCVs. Oh, this could do great damage if he just, you know, sends them into the SCV line. Looks like he's just choosing to attack these. Oh, select some huge Marine force coming in here. Baneling's coming in from the back, but oh, missing most of the Marines. Great spread by Select. Tons of Marines left over, and he got HayPro got a couple unit produced structures, but these Marines are just going to scare away all these mutas. Without Banelings, the Mutalists can't really do anything. The way that engagement has to go is the Banelings have to kill all of the Marines, and then the Mutalists just clean up everything else. So HayPro now abusing the other side, sending the Banelings in this side, but into all these tanks. Not very efficient. All the Marines still left over, and like I said, they're just going to scare away all these Mutalists. Wow, I mean, HayPro is still ahead slightly, but going after this missile turret. Scared away by this one. Looks like Select's going to counterattack over here, knowing that there's not a whole lot of Banelings left over. And this hatchery is most likely going to die. Baneling's not quite done yet, so yeah. Oh, Planetary Fortress under attack. Select's sending his Marines back. Will this Planetary Fortress fall? There's nothing to defend it. Oh, Select has to stim to get back in time. Does scare away the mutas. So it looks like the Planetary Fortress will survive as long as he sends some units to repair. Yeah, see, so Select is having to put down some resources to defend this area. Just to make sure that, you know, HayPro can't attack from so many different directions. Yeah, I think HayPro's engagement back here was kind of ill-advised. He really should have just charged up here with the Lings and just started messing up these SCVs. You can break down the economy. So HayPro already maxed. Select have a ton of medevacs here with a handful of Marines. Stimming to get back in range. Getting back to the Planetary Fortress. And HayPro just going in, attacking into the Planetary Fortress. I don't know if it's such a good idea. Oh, Banelings! Killing off most of them. A handful of Marines, but there's still great spread by Select. There's still a ton of Marines rallying in and just picking away at these mutas. HayPro still, you know, maintaining a sizable army, but he's kind of just throwing away units inefficiently. Handful of Marines coming down here to try and kill this gold. There's a ton of spine crawlers though, and looks like HayPro's going to send in his Lings to clean this up. So looks like Select's probably going to. Yeah, this attack is a little unsuccessful. Yeah, these Marines are all going to be dying. SCV transfer to the planetary here. Not a lot of Marines here. These Mutalists can clean up. These Marines doing sick damage to the Mutalists. Wow, these Mutalists are just dissipating so fast. I think the two attack upgrades really helping. Oh, Ling's coming in here, taking out a lot of tanks. But it looks like the Planetary Fortress at 48 kills. That is nuts. That is incredible. Actually, you know, this reminds me a lot of the game that HayPro played on this map in the GSL, where he kept trying to attack into this Planetary Fortress and threw away a ton of units at it and didn't really kill it. And this game is starting to remind me a lot of that. He continues to attack this Planetary Fortress. Select moving up with a handful of Marines, trying to clean up. Oh, the Marines have to stim to run away. Select's doing a great job of prodding at HayPro. He just abusing this, you know, short path, moving his Marines up at